One Page Weekly with Nick Slavik. Scarcity. The general election, interest rates, war in the Middle East and Ukraine, and housing prices. Things that people will attribute to their inability to accomplish personal and professional things. I get it. The price of the average home in Minnesota went from $250,000 to $400,000 in a short period of time. It wasn't long ago that we could buy that same house on a 3% mortgage. It's now 7%. Generalized, leads for our businesses cost more and are harder to get this year. But compared to what? Leads were down for me this year as well. I got hyper-focused on this issue for months. The data from 2023 did not ease the stress. Neither did the data from 2022. I had to go back 4 years in my business to find a time that mimicked our current economic condition, at least with the data from my business. No surprise, there was a huge downward spike in leads in early 2020, COVID, then a huge upward spike. That spike didn't lower for 2 years. The leads in my company mimicked the GDP of the United States. I started my business in 2007. 95% of the painting companies in the U.S. were not operating at this time. The average lifespan of a residential painting business in the U.S. is 18 months. 95% of the painting businesses in the U.S. were not operating pre-COVID. And we have a short memories, lots of feelings, and not so much data. In my first year of business, we saw an economic downturn worse than what happened in early 2020 because of a global pandemic. Because I was new to entrepreneurship at the time, I focused on immaculate paint jobs, ultra-personal service, and professional high-velocity communication. In a time where 1 in 54 people foreclosed on their home, 10% of the U.S. people were unemployed, 2.5 times more than what is current, and 700,000 people were losing their jobs each month, I started and grew a business. Ignorance was bliss, and a great business strategy for me at that time. I demonstrated an unintentional abundance mindset. The opposite of an abundance mindset is a scarcity mindset. A scarcity mindset is when you think resources are limited. You focus on the things you lack instead of the things you have. It can create hyperfixation, short-term coping instead of long-term problem solving, and increases stress and jealousy. A scarcity mindset can lower your IQ 14 points, enough to take you from outstanding to average. It can reduce your problem-solving ability, limit your ability to reason and retain information, and worsen impulse control. Worst of all, it limits your visioning and strategic thinking, the kind that lets you plan for the future. All things bad for business. So you found yourself in a period with a scarce mindset, or I know our industry has. I found myself in a period of this in the last few years. Now what? Social scientists will tell you to practice gratitude, recognize possibilities, and stop seeing others as competition. This is as effective as telling someone who is sad to snap out of it and be happy. What worked for me was collaborating with others, leaning into relationships, and taking care of myself so that I could take care of others. It was the people who got me from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. I started eating more reasonably, getting more sleep, being grateful for the small wins, and not being disappointed that I didn't do a moonshot each day. My mantra was, and is, take it easy, asshole. I was not present for my friends and family. I'm more now, and it worked. Our industry and many other industries suffer from a scarcity mindset. We're still in I have secrets and you're the competition mode, but it's getting better. The more of us that connect, share, and form friendships, the faster this abundance mindset will proliferate, and we'll all be better for it. In my scarcity of thinking, I forgot my people. I'm grateful they didn't forget about me. Go out there and make a friend today. This is One Page Weekly with Nick Slavik.